Dude, are you drunk?
Maybe.
Welcome to the Booz and Broz podcast, where hosts Matt Lytle and Chris Califf discuss everything paranormal, cryptic, horror, true crime, and of course, booze. So grab your favorite beverage and come have a drink with the Booz and Broz.
Hey everyone, welcome to episode 9 of the Booz and Bros podcast. I'm your host, Matt Lytle, with my co-host,
Darth Vader.
Wait, I don't think you've said your actual name since like episode 3.
That would be your fault because you keep harassing me, sir. Harassing me.
I do like the nicknames that you are giving yourself. They're hilarious. I want you to continue doing it, but maybe sneak in that your name is actually Chris Califf, just in case we have any new viewers.
Why do I need to do that when I have you that will do it for me? So thank you.
Come on. I mean, I will do it for you, for sure. I won't turn that down.
You're the best. You're like the best introductory hype. You're the best introductory hype man in the business. So
Thank you.
It works.
I work on that, and I try to be the best I can. So coming from you, who never gives compliments, let alone compliments to me, I'm ready to drink.
I'm glad that I contribute to alcoholism. You're welcome.
You like how they went from like, oh, I love how you give me, okay, I'm ready to drink. Like you thought it was going to go one way and then it went the other way. Oh, okay. So we have a cocktail tonight. Obviously, we're both shaking it. Dude, mine's all fuzzy. Mine smells okay. Okay, well, here we go.
This is the first time I can smell it. This is the first time I can smell in like 2 weeks, so keep that in mind.
That's right. Well, we are discussing aliens and UFOs for this podcast. But before we pour the drink, Califf, how are you doing recovering from COVID-19?
Doing all right. Like, taste still isn't all the way back yet, which kind of sucks. Have you ever tried to eat pizza and not be able to taste pizza?
Kind of, yeah.
It's weird because texture like is heightened and everything's gross. So, I mean,
I can see that. Cold pizza probably tastes like cardboard.
Everything. I tried to eat Cocoa Pebbles and it tastes like I was eating, I don't know, rocks. Like it was great.
Oh.
Good times had by all. But all in all, feeling all right. Getting better, stronger every day. It helps that I have shitload more Zoloft in my system now. So I really just don't give a shit. It's great. Yeah.
So you feel a lot better.
Yeah.
Let's drink to it. Tonight, what do we have, Califf? What cocktail do we have?
We call this one the anal probe. Or technically what comes after the anal probe, the alien secretion.
Oh my God.
We're talking UFOs. Butt stuff's getting brought up, bro. It's happening.
It will. I know it will. I sadly, a lot of these stories that I read were a lot of butt stuff, and I was very uncomfortable. I don't know
Aliens dig anal, bro. It's just how it goes.
Aliens dig anal. That's going to be the saying for this podcast.
I'm gonna buy
Episode
that
9,
shirt for Chris
Aliens
Starr.
dig.
I'm gonna buy a shirt. I'll make that shirt for Chris Starr's merchandise.
Aliens dig anal. I'm sure she would appreciate that.
Yeah.
Well, cheers. By the way, another green drink.
Yay.
Ooh, coconutty.
Okay, that's actually good.
What is in this, Califf?
Well, let's be real. I can't taste it.
Oh.
But the little bit of taste I do get, I can live with that.
So in order to make this drink, you have to have a shot of Malibu rum, a shot of melon liqueur. I used Midori because I love Midori, and a shot of pineapple juice. But Califf and I, because we want to drink more than just a little old cocktail, we like tripled it up.
Alcoholics.
Yeah. We like tripled it up. So if you want to add 2 shots of Malibu or 3, Same with the melon liqueur or pineapple juice. Don't add too much pineapple juice. You get this. So by the end of this, oh, you know it's going to be tipsy time. And I'm excited.
Oh God,
We're
I hope
talking
not.
aliens.
Another rant from yours truly.
Oh, it'll happen.
So.
I'm excited. I'm so excited to hear at the end of this podcast the rant by Caliph.
Yeah, I mean,
the 10-minute edit down to 1 minute.
Exactly. We're gonna get like the least amount of this rant as humanly possible, and then go. So butt stuff, man. Like,
I would like to not start out with butt stuff, nor do I want to call it anal or butt
probing.
things. Let's just call it as it is. I guess that is what it is.
Yeah, it's anal probing, dude. Come on now. Apparently, back in the day, across the pond, fairies acted very similar to aliens. They would abduct children, cross them into a little fairy world. When they abducted you, it was a bright light because they're fairies, things like that. It's funny because this was actually talked about in Supernatural, the TV show. If you guys haven't watched that, go check it out. But yeah, fairies were kind of where the idea of abduction started.
When was that? What you said back in the day? Are we talking? Because the first alien stories to come to America was basically the 40s, Roswell, which I want to get into.
Those were the big ones that like were talked about. Roswell was the first really big event. But
let me rephrase that. Sky. Right, the stories that brought UFOs and aliens to basically America's attention. Let me correct myself. That's what I meant. Not the first stories in general, just how people started learning about UFOs and aliens and what they are and believing in that the fact that we're not alone. So do you know when, the first alien stories came to America? Like when did people start seeing UFOs and believing in UFOs?
I have no idea. That's the great part is that, I mean, you can go and turn on your ancient aliens and see that, lights from the sky and stuff like that have been around forever. And,
yeah,
Roswell being America's, huge UFO thing. And after that, the craze just kind of sparked off. But I mean, I don't know. I don't know when the whole UFO, because in all my years in the paranormal, in the 15 years I've been doing this, believe it or not, I've actually stayed away from this stuff more than I have anything else.
Mm-hmm. And I'm the same way. A lot of people who know that you can relate that we're paranormal investigators. Well, paranormal doesn't mean just ghosts. You know what I mean? Paranormal has a lot to do with more supernatural things, including aliens. And a lot of people ask me, hey, do you believe in aliens? I'm like, I mean, and so I'm like, I get kind of thrown off because I expect them to ask, what's your scariest story about a haunted place? I 100% believe that we're not alone, but all of the documentation, especially obviously, we're going to talk about Roswell real quick. We'll talk about Area 51. We'll talk about the Pentagon releasing the footage. 6 months ago. And I do want to talk about the very first really scary UFO abduction story too. Those are kind of the 4 subjects I want to talk about. I can't say that 100% they are real. Like I know ghosts, for me, it's still very objective view towards it, but I've experienced ghosts and all of that stuff enough to where I'm like, yes, I definitely believe in ghosts. But aliens, I don't know. I think I have to experience it. What about you? You just said, I mean, you're not really too into it like you are ghosts, but what do you think?
I think it's an ignorant assumption to assume that we are the only intelligent beings in existence. I think that as humans, we think we are, and we can walk around with that, big stick toting around thinking we're the smartest things there because as human beings, it's what we do. But I think, I do think that there's life out there. I think that we have been observed. I think that more is known than we are told. Clearly, I think
That's
the government hides. I think the government hides this type of stuff because, I mean, you could go back to Men in Black in 99 or 2000 when the fuck that movie came out. And there was a line between Tommy Lee Jones.
Yeah, 97. It was early. Yeah. I was young.
There's a line between Tommy Lee Jones and Will Smith where Tommy Lee Jones goes, a human is rational. A human is compassionate. A human is kind. But a group of people are not. And that's kind of how I view it. Like, why would you release, anything of concrete nature, because people are just going to loot shit anyway.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, that's kind of with Roswell, it's been very up and down. Roswell happened, 1947, there was a ranch about 60 to 70 miles north of Roswell where a UFO crashed and into this guy's backyard, and he thought it was UFO. And they said, hey, it is a UFO. And then the very next day, they said, oh, wait, no, it was a weather balloon. We're testing a lot of stuff there. And they do test a lot of weather type aerial shit around Roswell, even to this day. But the first inclination was that they were lying. They were hiding stuff. There were people at the location where this UFO crashed, just civilians. And they literally saw men carrying little 3.5 foot long. They described it as weird looking alien people. And the government heard about that and said, oh, wait, no, that was just test dummies. Well, test dummies are 5.5 to 6 feet long, and they look as much like humans as we do, except they're fake. Well, these people were saying that they were smaller. Their foreheads were bigger. Their eyes were like oddly shaped. And a lot of people ran with that. And that's why today, I mean, not just that situation, but that's why today a lot of people still think that was some secret UFO that crashed there. But Caleb, you know about Roswell a little bit too. What about the other conspiracy about how it was a spy drone from Russia?
Not a drone. One of the best theories I've heard in doing homework and looking up what the government likes to hide, because I'm coming for you, U.S. government. I'm going to figure out what you hide.
Me too.
And the truth comes out.
Anyway, I
Anyway,
think you've told me that before.
I have no idea.
Anyway,
Anyway, back to
smoking cigarettes, filming TV
the relevance.
shows.
Yeah, the relevance of this podcast, which is so relevant for the 48 people watching.
I think we got 50
Anyway.
now. Come on. Which, thank you, shout out. Thank you guys for watching and listening, whoever does. We really
The
appreciate
fear
it. We do
friends
put
are
a
the ones that
lot of
I
work in.
want to say hi to. The fear friends, all those ladies, your Sophias, your Melissas, all those ones that they're the ones that constantly harass us.
Brianna, yeah. Shout out to you guys. Thank you for the support, and we do this for you guys. We do, and we're working.
And
on more
Erica,
stuff
my number one fan. Thank you for your support as well.
That's right.
So, yeah, thank you to everybody. Like, crap, we're not that entertaining, and you guys turn out for us every week, and that's great. So looking up government conspiracies, the best theory I heard about that was that it was actually either a B-52 Russian bomber that went down in New Mexico, or it was some new experimental Russian spy plane that ended up being shot down or going down in the New Mexico desert, and they didn't want the American people to get to get terrified at the idea that the Russians got that close before they were brought down. So to me, that seems a little bit more realistic to the idea of what Roswell was, because why would there be in the 1940s one alien crash and then nothing ever again?
Well, that's the thing though. There were also reports that there were multiple UFO sightings. I mean, we're talking like hundreds in the 40s and 50s around Roswell. So obviously there was something going on there. That was just happened to be the one that crashed. And again,
you would think like with aliens and stuff like that, these higher beings, these higher civilized people that can, jump through, quantum leaps and all that crap, that they wouldn't crash.
That's a good point too.
In that same vein, we like to test new stuff and then blow it up and then not say shit about it. Russia is notorious for all kinds of testing and all this type of stuff. And then being like, oh, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
America.
Roswell, they had that museum there too, which I really want to go to Roswell. I think it'd be cool to walk around there and get the vibe of the town and see how, I mean, it's made so much money literally off of this 1947 Roswell incident, which kind of moves me to Area 51 as well, which is another questionable government might be hiding shit from us area in Nevada. What do you think about Area 51?
I don't think they'd hype a place for hiding shit.
You don't think they'd hide the
No.
place that they're hiding shit?
I don't think they'd hype a place they're hiding shit.
That's my point.
You've got the Nevada test sites right next to it. The Nevada test sites
Yeah.
where people think the moon landing was filmed. Yank, yank.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, you've got a lot of nuclear testing going on there. You've got a lot of like, you know, perfecting the nuclear weapons that was taking place at that site. So yeah, I'm sure there's some pretty secretive shit there, because they probably have a bomb that can blow up the earth, like one off. So yeah, I'm sure there's.
Is it possible that there could be some area of this Area 51 that could be some sort of future tech that they have used for this bomb that can blow up the earth? Is there something super secretive besides, okay, yeah, this big weapon that we don't want people to be afraid of? Could there be something like, there has to be some sort of truth to it if there's so many people believing that there is something there. You really think that many people have all these conspiracies about it and none of it's true at all?
Have you met people?
Yeah, I have.
Rewind
and not
back
everyone's stupid. A lot of people know a lot of people who know stuff.
But rewind back to COVID. How many people thought drinking bleach was going to cure them of the disease?
Yeah, but I mean, those are idiots. More people believe that Area 51 is hiding stuff than drinking bleach would cure COVID.
Area 51, if it ever
and
did
half of that was because of a joke.
If it ever did hide stuff, it doesn't now. I would bet money on that.
Really?
Unless the U.S. government unless the U.S. government's into hiding stuff in plain sight, which I could see, minute chance, but I could see it. And if they're into hiding stuff in plain sight, then sure. But if they're smart and they do have alien tech or future tech or something like that, which I'm sure they do, don't get me wrong. I'm sure at some point they've gotten their hands on something galactically, because you can go into space, and we'll go into that later, and a lot of the stories that astronauts have told over the years, things they've seen, things like the Black Knight satellite. I don't know if you've ever heard of that, but the Black Knight satellite is a random fucking satellite that's been floating around Earth that government knows. Yeah, and no government knows where it came from. So, and it changes its orbital path, its rotation, the whole nine. Anyway, I think that if there ever was something there, it sure as hell ain't at 51 now. So,
I think it's just there. It's so easy to hide things, bro. Like, it's just so easy to hide things. Like, as much as we're all being watched today and blah, 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 it's still easy to hide things. Hide your feelings, hide some money, hide a text from whoever. Like,
why are you gonna call me out on feelings, bro? Shit. No kidding.
I'm just saying.
You talk about that. I want you to think about something, and I want to kind of put some perspective. We have full maps. They have sent satellites on that stuff and gotten full maps of Venus, full maps of Mars, full maps and full detailed diagrams of every just about square foot of the moon. Okay? But we have explored 5% of the ocean on this planet. You want to talk about hidden in plain sight? We're what? 2/3 water? Where would be the best place to hide some shit?
Under fucking water. Actually, that's a good segue to something I want to bring up as well. Apparently, there is a hidden UFO base right off of the coast of Malibu, California, and right off Point Doom, which I've been to a few times. Gorgeous place. All you do is think of beauty and the ocean and blah, blah, blah. But on Google Maps, if you look underwater, there's this area, I think it's like 3 to 5 miles out into the Pacific Ocean. And it looks like there's like columns. And it really does look like a place where a freaking ship could land under and stay there. With as many earthquakes that happen here in California, with just all of that jazz, I'm going to say, okay, that's a good thought, but no. But a lot of people think that shit is a UFO base. I want you to look that up after this podcast.
Don't you guys have like the 3 most active fault lines as well in the world? Like, San Andreas and 2 other ones, like the most active fault lines. Oh no, it's UFOs, but we're sitting on the most active fault lines in the world. Anyway,
it's still a theory, though. We're talking about.
You want to talk about looking stuff up after we're done filming this? Look up the Baltic Sea anomaly.
Okay. What is it?
It's this supposed rock formation that kind of looks like the Millennium Falcon sitting on the
That's
bottom of the
awesome.
Baltic Sea. They cannot get a picture of this thing because once you go inside 200 meters, no electronics work. There's only artist renditions of it. Nobody's ever taken a picture of the Baltic Sea anomaly at all.
But people have seen it.
Yeah, the idea is that it's a crashed UFO underwater.
Damn. See, that is something to get around and believe in. I will definitely be looking that up.
You
The
weird little X-Files bitch. Like, seriously. Something
Dude,
to believe in.
I never watched the X-Files a lot.
I've never seen it, I don't think.
But every article you read about UFOs and aliens, they always mention the X-Files. So for those of you who are fans of the X-Files, convince us to watching it because, well, I guess I'm already convinced. Because we won't. Yeah. We're too stuck on Supernatural.
But also think about this. Like, you talk about, like, the idea that every UFO article has X-Files. Every fucking ghost hunting one has Ghostbusters. Every single one.
True. That's true. Or they mention Ghostbusters, or they even call paranormal investigating ghost busting, which I don't necessarily like that term because when I think of busting, I don't think I have to say
about the line from the song. Busting makes me feel good.
We know that was on purpose. I sing
Ray
that
Parker
line
Jr.,
with heart.
Ray Parker Jr., you and me both. Busting makes me feel good.
Speaking of government and UFOs, April 27th of 2020, why in the hell did the Pentagon finally come out with these 3 videos that were being hidden? Or let me say the 3 videos that weren't being explained at all. And they said, okay, yes, these videos are legit. They were captured by the Navy and we cannot explain them at all. That's all they said. They didn't say anything else.
3 things. Think about it. They called them footage of unidentified flying objects. Okay. Right. They were not classified as what they call off-world vehicles. Okay. Off-world vehicles are aliens. UFOs are just something in the sky that you don't know what it is. Mothman could be a UFO, for Christ's sake.
Well, I know, but you think UFO, the majority of people think alien.
Yeah, they think.
And that's why this thing blew up.
Aliens. Like, I fucking hate that guy with the fucking hair. And when it comes down to the idea, like, to release that stuff, you're releasing it in a pandemic, an election year. You're releasing it when the impeachment shit was going on when that happened as well. So, like, to me, it looked like it was supposed to be a ploy to take the attention off of everything that was happening, and yet nobody paid attention. Here you have the Navy dropping clips of literally fighter jets, F-22s, chasing down UFOs, things that are outmaneuvering some of our best fighter planes, and nobody gives a crap. Now, if you want to talk about America, that is America.
That is America. And I still remember, like, when those videos came out, a lot of the comments, it wasn't, oh my gosh, this is crazy, they released it. Everybody was literally like, oh, so they release it now when we're starting a pandemic. Oh, they release it now when it's an election. Like, literally everybody was just like, okay, this is no surprise, 2020. Kudos to the government for releasing it at the best time possible. Watching those videos, I love the shit out of them. There's one of them where obviously the guy's like, what the hell is that? And this thing is like going like this against the wind that's going, I don't know how many miles an hour. And then it goes and turns like that. And they're like, oh my God, it shifted. And just the tone in that man's voice is just like, it's amazing. Cause the chances of being an alien ship is pretty wide. But just his reaction and the fact that he's in such awe and he literally says, I've never seen anything like this. It makes you think like, what the hell is this? It is a true unidentified flying object.
I figure if these are aliens, right? These are aliens. These are the kids, like the alien teenagers, right? And Earth is like the haunted house where you have to go up and touch the door really quick and then run away really fast before the ghost gets you. And these aliens are like, dude, bro, check us out. I'm going to fly through Earth real quick and watch how much shit I stir up. and they fly down real quick, and they're like, "Oh God, aliens!" They fly back up, like, "See, told you, take a shot," like that type of thing.
Honestly, and that could easily be it. I mean, it could be it. And a lot of people, I'm one of those included, are like, you think of an alien, you think green or you think gray, you think big eyes, big head. I'm a person who's like, an alien doesn't necessarily have to be that. An alien doesn't have to be a higher intelligence. Aliens can also be it can be any type of life form on any other planet, any other moon or whatever it is. It can be some nasty ass, like gooey fucking thing crawling around. It's still an alien. That's
So
why I think
a booger crawling
it
around.
could be a little, it could be a little ugly ass booger running around that like looks up and like winks at you. You know what I mean? It could be anything like that. Yeah, like it reminds me of like Men in Black, like all those movies. Like
I'm just waiting for Luna. I'm
aliens
just waiting for Luna to pop out nowhere and be like, "The fuck is wrong with you, Dad? Like, why are you hissing at whatever time at night?"
We're talking about aliens, Luna. But you see what I'm saying? That's why, going back to your statement about how it's ignorant to think that we're the only life forms, 1000% agree. Because life form doesn't, again, just mean little big-headed, big-eyed guy or girl. It can be anything, man. Any other life form out there. So that's my thought.
So you got your buzz going on. I can appreciate this. So I'm gonna get real with you right now.
Are you calling me out? Hold on, are you calling me out?
I'm calling you out
because you got a buzz on.
No, I'm not. I'm just not even buzzed yet. And I'm on, like, my shaker's gone. This is my fourth cup.
I have seen you buzzed / drunk a lot in my life. I know how your eyes get. You're not buzzed, but you're there.
If you're gonna refer to my eyes being squinty, I'm not wearing my glasses, you bag of dicks. Like, again, with your judgmental shit.
I just laugh because you call me bag of dicks.
Deep fried ball sack. How about that?
Freddy Krueger, slutty deep fried ball sack. Happy Halloween, fuckers.
I think of the entire fucking thing we've done. My two favorite one-liners for myself on this was calling Zeus the OG fuckboy and the deep fried ball sack Freddy Krueger comment.
Yes, yeah. I agree. I think my favorite line from you is, episode 1, we were like, oh, this and that. And now we're like, suck my balls.
That was a pretty good one.
I
remember the trailer for Lubbock came out for Ghost Loop.
Oh, Lubbock, episode 2?
Well, something's pissed. Like,
dude,
just the amount of hate I had on my face at that point. It was great.
Oh, such good timing. Cheers to that. I'm going to drink again. So I kind of want to talk about alien abductions now. First off, I want to tell you a story about, it's a pretty famous story. You might know about it. It was Barty and Betty Hill. And it was 1961, September 19th, I believe. They had gone on vacation to Niagara Falls, and they were on their way home, and they were driving through, I think it's called the White Mountains in New Hampshire. And they said that there was this big ass, like, circular aircraft that was following them down the road. And they were hoping it would fly by or whatnot, whatever. So they stop on the road after they get off the mountain, and the thing is still in the freaking sky. And they said that it was 200 feet above them, and it came down to 100 feet. So Barney got his Glock out of his freaking, have you heard this?
No, I'm just saying that's gangster. That's what I would have done. I'd be like, fuck, I'm shooting
that
this
Glock
thing.
out.
I don't give a damn.
Yeah, got that Glock out and literally told his wife to stay in the car, told Betty to stay in the car, and he walked up to it, and he said he looked up and he saw in a window, and I quote, little men, like little gray men, and on the side of the ship were these red like lights, like flashing lights. And then once the UFO got closer, the lights expanded from the ship. And then, like, I have weirdly, I have goosebumps right now.
Yeah, I have this, we're talking about this, right? We're talking about this, and I got to just bring this up real quick. We're talking about this, and suddenly I'm like, it is way too oddly quiet in here. Like,
yeah, man.
I totally just had this weird, sense of.
I'm chilled the fuck out right now. All right. Well, I'm going to finish this story. Listen to me. And No. Yes.
Yes.
So I want to finish the story. So he runs back to the car, gets in it, and before he could tell or get in the car and tell Betty what he saw or whatever, they tried to drive away. Their car wasn't working. And next thing you know, they were 35 miles down the road. They looked at the clock and it was 2 hours later. They didn't remember any of this until later on where they were getting asked questions and stuff, which of course is the quote sketchy part of, is this real or not? But there's evidence of Betty's clothes being ripped in these weird certain areas. And she had this pink, like weird pink powder on her clothes. And it had been sent to 5 to 6 professional science labs, and they literally can't figure out what it is.
Alien
And
cocaine.
Barney,
I just saved
Huh?
I just saved $1 million right there. It was alien cocaine.
honestly, that's
It's the
kind
good
of
shit.
awesome.
It's the galactic grade. It's the
Can
good
you
shit.
imagine alien cocaine? Oh my God.
We
Like,
never sleep.
bro, that is out of this world. Oh, I didn't even hear the drum. Caleb just did a drum thing.
You're such a
Yeah,
douche.
bro, but isn't that crazy? And then so like that's like the whole thing, and they apparently, like, the aftermath of it was, I mean, they were like sane people. Like they all had, I don't remember what they did for a living, but they were, higher up, and what's his face, Barney had like an IQ of 140, and like they were normal ass people. But after all of this, Betty had night terrors about the ship every single night, and Barney had like high anxiety, blah 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 blah. High five.
I have one like really kind of important question. I mean, that
Mm-hmm.
you hear these stories and you think about it, and one thing really comes to mind that you kind of have to ask about it, and it kind of helps with the validity of the stories and all that type of stuff. But it's, again, super important. You just have to know: did they put it in their butt?
Well, I was getting to that.
Did
did
they
mention-
get butt stuff?
They mentioned what the aliens did to them, and I'm gonna put it sort of lightly. I'm pretty sure they both got butt raped. Yeah, like we're talking like, I mean, if her clothes were basically ripped off and covered in pink shit, which, I mean, you said alien cocaine, it could be alien jizz.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Blech.
Why would they come?
And he said his shirt was ripped off too. Okay, yeah, they could have. They apparently they scraped their skin. They like got a piece of hair. They're doing all that. But come on, aliens aren't going to get you just to see what your skin feels like. Aliens are going to get you to see what you feel like. You know what I mean? In my opinion, if I was abducted, my number one thing would be like, oh fuck, I'm getting anal shit up my ass. Like, we'd be fucked. Like if they experiment on me,
I
the
love
only thing I
how-
worry about is that.
I love how alien abduction is pretty much synonymous with sodomy. Like, to me,
Yeah.
that is one of the best things ever, because it's like there's certain things that go together. Peanut butter and jelly, right? Goes together. Aliens and butt stuff, they go together. Like, it's just one of those things, man.
When you think of alien abductions, yes. Like I said, every time I think of alien abductions, like I think
Anal
of
abductions, is that what you just said?
basically anal abductions. Like,
We have a porn franchise.
oh, that's already been done. Come on, Spaceballs,
I'm just saying, anal abductions, volume 1.
or not Spaceballs. Sorry, Space Nuts.
I still like anal abductions, volume 1.
Okay, well, we'll talk about that one after the podcast. If anybody's
Sounds good.
interested in executive producing, what'd you call it? Anal. What'd you call it?
Was it anal abductions, volume 1?
Volume 1. Oh my God. So what do you think of alien abductions, man? Like, what do you think of the people who have these stories and who have these experiences? And a lot of their experiences are so detailed, so graphic.
I got to be real and say that when I hear an alien abduction story, the first thing I think is bullshit. And I hate that that's my first inclination. I hate that the first thought
Well,
I have
it's a lot of people's. It's a lot of people's.
the realistic first thought I have is when somebody comes to me and goes, dude, so you're a ghost hunter, right? Yeah. What do you think about aliens? You know the question. I think it's an ignorant thought to assume that we're the only people, the only existence out there. You know I've been abducted, right? First thing that goes to my mind is what, Matt?
Bullshit.
No. You got fucked
Anal.
in the butt. Yep, you got fucked in the butt. That's literally the first thing that goes through my head. I was just, I don't even say it a lot, just clicks in like, you've done anal. Like, that's the first thing. And then I go to bullshit. But I hate that's the first inclination, because I think that things like that are possible. And I think that if we are these lower life forms, that they want to pick us up and study us and tag us, kind of like we do with animals all the time. You know what I mean? Hopefully we're not shoving shit up animals' asses, but only God knows in this weird ass world, this weird ass time. So for me, I do believe that, again, aliens exist. I would say if there is abduction cases, the majority of what you hear about, in my opinion, I think are crap. Same with ghost stories. You know, you have the people that just want attention, so they go with the stuff and they do it. Are there genuine abduction stories? You remember the movie? What is it? Had the chick from Resident, the chick from Resident Evil, right?
Yeah,
that makes you think.
Nome, Alaska.
Yeah, that makes you think.
Yeah, Nome, Alaska.
Yeah.
Oh,
it makes
100%.
You think that some real shit's going on.
Well, I mean, you probably know. I mean, that movie was literally kind of like a Blair Witch Project type marketing. It was hey, this is a documentary. This has real footage of alien abductions and a fucking lady who was abducted and she goes crazy. I was terrified of that movie. I thought they did such a good job of making it real, but it wasn't. Nome, Alaska is a place where a lot of people believe. I mean, Alaska has the most missing persons cases out of the whole United States of America. California.
They also have a pretty rapid high. They also have a pretty high murder rate.
Yeah, they do. Murder rate, suicide rate. It's dark up there a lot. It's cold up there a lot. A lot of people drink a lot. And the thing about Nome too is, if you go out of the town, there's 350 acres of literally forest and nothing that a lot of people get lost in. I know 350 acres isn't a whole lot, but apparently that's where they have found a lot of bodies, but they haven't found a lot of bodies too. And that's why people assume, hey, this place has like 4,000 people living in it. It's cold. It's dark all the time. This is a perfect place for aliens to land their ships. It's a perfect place for aliens to abduct a human being, because no one's going to hear about it. No one's going to know. And who knows? Aliens could know that Nome, Alaska is known for missing people. So they're like, oh, they'll just chalk it up as a murder. Who knows? Do I believe that alien abductions are a reason for a lot of the missing persons cases? If I had to answer just a yes or no, I would say no, I don't think that's a reason why. But again, man, we're doing this podcast because, hey, this shit's a possibility. And yeah, there's a lot of bullshit, but like you said,
that brings me into my
bullshit. But I think ghosts are real. So
that brings me to my last call thoughts, because it's last call here.
Last call here,
Booz and Broz. So my last call thoughts, the thing that I want to talk about here in closing is, what do you think would happen if the world governments told everybody aliens are real?
Like aliens from out of this world.
Yeah, like little green men are actually a thing. How do you think that would go over? Like, and not even for most people, because we know it'd be panic and chaos, but for you, how would you take that information in?
How would I personally? If you were to ask me this question November 2019, I would have a different answer. I would say, holy fuck, this is insane. Right now, I still think it would be insane, but with what I've seen as a ghost hunter, with what you've seen as a ghost hunter, experienced other dimensions, you've seen shadow figures, you've heard EVPs calling your name out, bro. Like, we've had goddamn spirits inside of us, bro. It's not that crazy. My interest with my next question to the government would be, what are they here for? What's the next step? Okay, they're real. That's a thing. A lot of people have speculated this. I speculated this. What is the next step? So, I don't know. What about you?
I think it would take a minute to wrap my head around. Even like half of me knowing that there's more out there, to have that reality check. I mean, it's the same thing with anything. Like when you have that firm belief that, you know, life's, it's like your first EVP or your first ghost experience. You're told your whole life, no, 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 no. And then you have that breakthrough experience that you're like, because even to this day, I still question myself about some of the shit I've seen. You know, am I crazy? You know, so forth, so on. So it would be really crazy to have to accept that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Think about COVID, right? Like how you look at how everything's changed, how the world has become what it is. And it might not ever go back. Some things are changed and changed permanently because of this virus. It's crazy to think what would happen to live through a large scale something like that would change existence forever. So it'd be heavy. It'd be heavy.
And it would. And just like COVID-19, it wouldn't just hit the United States, it would hit the world. And yeah, like you said, it would cause a major chaotic atmosphere, which can cause more chaotic atmospheres, which could cause the end of the world. So that would be my hope, that it didn't cause the end of the world. But yeah, I think you're right, man. I mean, you put it so well when you said it's like capturing your first EVP or seeing the ghost for the first time. First time I saw a ghost, I freaked out. It's because, like you said, your whole life growing up, it's no, these aren't real. It's just a belief. It's all this. It's explained. Well, when you literally see your grandmother, who died 4 months prior to that, with your own eyes, rubbing your grandfather's back, smirking at you, basically saying it's okay, Matt. That is a straight up energy ghost, whatever. That is something that I did not think was real until I was 15, you know? So yes, seeing an alien or hearing that an alien is real, little green guy or gray guy is real. Yeah, I think you're right. It would be a shock, but I personally, like I said, I would say, what's next? After I got over the shock, what's next, dude? You know, I have one more question though. I know that was the last call, but just one more, because I want to wrap this up with kind of something that we have way more experience in.
Okay.
What do you think about aliens coexisting with the paranormal ghost side of things? Do you think that aliens go in and out of dimensions? And do you think that they can reach our spirit world, or that they are our spirit world? Like, what do you think about that? Because I know there's theories that aliens are just some sort of spiritual entity.
When you start getting into the whole transdimensional theory, that's going to be a podcast all on its own. Okay.
Okay.
Because that's such a complex thing. What I will say is that, do I think there are more dimensional planes? Yes. Do I think they can cross some of those? I do believe so. Yes. As far as everything else goes with that, we'll have to kind of leave it for the next episode, or the one after that, when the fuck ever, that we're actually going to discuss the transdimensional theories. Because like I said, that's a really big, elaborate answer that you have to kind of have to compound. So there's endless possibility on what these extraterrestrial things could be.
There was one thing that I did want to cover is, have you ever had any experiences with UFO? Have you ever seen anything in the sky that you just cannot explain?
The first time I ever saw a UFO, I was probably 10 years old, and it was summer vacation. It was bright blue sky, and I was walking through the back of my mom's house. I just looked up at the sky because that's what I did. And I saw this silver disc in the sky, and it was, when you flip a coin and the coin kind of goes all around, it was doing that, the silver disc was, but it was going up. So I watched it for a good 30 seconds, rubbed my eyes twice, and it was still happening. I'm like, what the fuck is this? What's going on? And it's just this totally silver, shiny, like, not matte, but perfectly like shiny silver disc in the sky, way the fuck up there. And then I heard a hawk squeal, so I looked over, because birds are kind of cool. I looked over, I looked back, and the thing stops tumbling, sits there just evenly for a second, gone. No sound, nothing. Second one, fast forward about 8 years, we're at one of my buddy's houses, kind of out near the woods. And we're all drinking. I think it's a jungle juice night, so we're pretty good fucked up. And our buddy Daniel's out front of the house, and he comes flying and kicks the door open. And my I've known Daniel for 30 years. Finding, dude, there's lights in the trees. There's lights in the trees. Me and my buddy Joel are, half on a drunk, walk outside, and sure as shit, we see lights go off in the trees. And we're like, oh, dude, there's probably somebody down in the woods fucking around, whatever have you. Dale's like, no, they were rotating, man. I saw them lower into the trees and saw them rotating. I'm like, dude, shut up. You're full of shit. Just as soon as I say that, I go to turn around and grab a pack of cigarettes, and we hear something. I'm like, what the fuck was that? We watched a military caravan of 3 Humvees and three covered trucks go down his private driveway exactly where we saw the lights, not more than 10 minutes after the lights were seen.
Dude, did you ever?
They didn't stop. They didn't stop. No, we went down there to look. By the time we got down there, they were clearing out.
Oh my God. God, that's shit. That is one intense
Those are my
UFO
two.
story.
Those are my two encounters with that type of shit.
Yeah,
so
I
stay clear from it because when you look at that stuff, wherever that shit's happening, you're gonna find the United States military. If it's happening in fucking Europe, you're still gonna find the United States military there. Like,
yeah,
you're finding fucking dudes in black tactical. I'm not talking about men in black and black suits with a black tie. Dudes in fucking midnight fucking tactical gear, no fucking marks on them whatsoever. You have no idea what fucking branch of government they work for, and they're there for a simple purpose, and that's whatever the fuck that thing just was.
Yeah. My story, I did have a run-in. I was 17. So me and my buddy were down in his basement. We were actually about to go ghost hunting. This was probably the first year that I started ghost hunting. And he was like, oh man, you need to check this out. So he showed me a video of these 3 lights that were very spread apart, but they made a triangle, almost like a pyramid or like the Bermuda Triangle. If you
Is that the ones
draw
over Phoenix?
It was over Texas. They might have made their way to Phoenix, but it was in Texas. And he showed me the video, and he's like, bro, check this out. Because, we were super into the supernatural, so UFOs were a thing. We go ghost hunting in the middle of nowhere in Indiana. We go about an hour outside of Indianapolis. And I shit you not. You can ask my buddy Joey and the 2 other guys that were with me. On our way back, we were in the dead middle of the country at probably midnight. Pitch black, quiet, no lights around or anything. And we saw those exact same 3 lights in the fucking sky. In Indiana, from Texas. And he showed me that news clip. That fucking day. That day that happened in Texas. I kid you not. My friend who had the camera, he was the guy snapping photos when we ghost hunted. He was so freaked out. He couldn't get his camera on and his lens cap would not come off his camera. It was like weirdly like broken like into the lens. I don't know what the hell happened that night. I just know that was my one UFO experience, and to this day I'll never forget that. So there you have it. Like we've both run into this stuff, and we both believe that we're not alone. This shit could be very real. There's a lot of hiding stuff. There's a lot of hoaxes for sure, a lot of BS with it. And it's just one of those topics that until they come out and saying this is all real, we are not here alone. They're gray, green guys running around. They're smarter than us. They've been testing us for years now. Until that happens, this is going to be one of the most discussed supernatural topics ever around the world.
Right.
Whew, I'm feeling
with that, guys,
just fine.
Good. With that, thanks for tuning into another week's shit show of Booze and Bros. I hope you learned something through this, because clearly we did not. My liver thanks you for joining. What'd you learn?
I learned a lot from you. Thank you. I don't remember what I learned. I just remember I learned from you.
I have no idea what's happening right now. Anyway, thank you again for tuning into Booze and Bros. We'll catch you guys next week with another episode of some assortment of bullshit. Yeah. Thank you.
Well put, Caliph. We'll see you guys next week.